Hey folks, Daniel Kempling here. I do hope this finds you well today. Thanks for letting me inside your device. Last time we were together, we talked about clear objectives and positive outcomes. That is, setting clear requests for your body-mind system so that you can tap into the intuitive wisdom of the body. And in doing so, it allows one to stay focused on your goal without getting unduly distracted by the obstacles. And I don't know about you, but I find one of the more common obstacles or impediments is fear. I alluded to my insight and struggle with being in a hurry. In the field of occupational health and safety, which is my academic training, we use a tool after an incident. We prefer the term incident as opposed to accident because accidents aren't accidental. Once we investigate an incident, once we've stabilized the scene and patch up any holes in people and stabilize the scene, we start asking questions. And in this way, we use what's called root cause analysis, where we ask why, often 4 or 5 times. Why did that happen? What caused that to happen? And what state of mind were you in that caused that to happen? And so on. We want to get as deep down to root causes the best we can so that we can address those behaviors that led to the incident and hopefully apply these controls, these fixes, to the entire organization for more effective risk management and a safe work site. Makes sense, right? So coming back to this phenomena of being in a hurry, I am reminded of a lesson I learned from my very first Aikido teacher, a wonderful man named Professor F.I. Ishiyama. And Ishiyama Sensei, in my first year of training with him, came up to me when he could see I was struggling with a technique I'd struggled with for months on end. And he said to me something I'll remember for the rest of my days, I'm quite sure of. He said, Daniel, it's okay to be frustrated. Just be frustrated in detail. And he left it at that. What a marvelous invitation. I like the way he invited me to not reject my frustration, but to penetrate into it using my cognitive mind, using every tool I could to get at the root of my problem. To quote another one of my teachers, Professor T.K. Chiba, who said it a little bit more, well, Chiba-like, was, Daniel, I don't mind you making mistakes. I just want you to make new mistakes. And that is, isn't it, folks, one of the definitions of insanity, to keep trying the same process, the same experiment, in the same way, and expect to get different results. So touching on this problem, that would certainly is I think, an obstacle for everyone. This phenomena of being in a hurry. When I apply root cause analysis to this, and I have in great detail over the years, there's an important distinction I came across. And that distinction is the difference between fear, genuine physical fear, and manufactured anxiety or worry. This is really important, and I have to give credit where credit is due. This distinction I learned first most vividly from a book called The Gift of Fear by Gavin de Becker. If you've not read it, I highly recommend it. Dude should owe me some royalties given how many times I've recommended this book. Really a fine and seminal piece. But genuine fear, we want that in our lives. We really do. If you're walking along a backwoods trail around here and you hear the chuffing of a bear and rustling behind behind the bushes there, I suggest to you that that is a very appropriate time to experience fear, genuine physical fear that tells you that you are in serious danger and you need to get yourself to safety. We do not want to be numb to such signals. This is different from probably more than 99% of the other fears that we call fear, which is actually manufactured anxiety. The signals that come up from our system with the same bodily effect, the same raising of the hackles, the same constriction in the chest, the same neurotic, obsessive thought patterns. This is the work that we really need to get underneath. Because is there an antidote for this? And this is where I get into what I've called this talk, the grand illusion. Because as I dig deeper and deeper into this, in my own system, I've found, again, using this example of being in a hurry, at the root of it is a message to oneself which says, this moment is unacceptable. These circumstances, these thoughts, and the associated body feelings, sensations, aren't good enough. They're completely unacceptable. Let me give you a fairly mundane example, which you're bound to experience perhaps within 24 hours of your hearing this. Being in traffic, driving along to where you need to get to at a certain time, you got kind of a tight window. And somebody in front of you at just the wrong time decides to do the greatest of sins, and that is turn left, and maybe turn left without signaling. Now, I don't know about you, but depending on who's with me or not with me, I'll probably be muttering or yelling something about the fact that their mother was of canine origin and they probably partake in an abundance of fellatio, and they really are unworthy of driving a car at that time. Fury, rage, craziness, it rises in the system, in traffic, or being cut off. Fill in the blank. We have reactions in our body very similar to those that we would experience in anticipation of attack, either from a human being falling off a roof, being attacked by an animal. The fight or flight mechanism kicks in. And we feel momentary rage and fear. Fear may be based on, we're going to be late. And eventually you do get to turn left. And as you turn left, do you feel elation? Well, perhaps there's a little bit of relief. But once you're on your way, are you now in the zone, overjoyed and completely satisfied with life because now you're driving straight? Not really. You're just kind of on autopilot, waiting for the next bastard to turn left in front of you and ruin your good day. So coming back to root cause analysis and asking why, and then why that, digging underneath this, I found it's really useful to ask myself the question, what's up? What's scaring you, man? What are you afraid of? Because there's usually a fear at the root. Some fear, something you would reject in the system beyond just the body sensations. The body sensations are usually a clue that you have begun a minor bout of self-abuse. Just as an aside here, something that I have noticed as a flaw in the golden rule, that is, treating others as you would like to be treated, is we're all masochists. We're awful with ourselves. And because we condone such self-abuse, such fear-mongering in our own systems, you see where I'm going with this. But that's not what I wanted to get to. We have identified that at the root of our agitations, our rejection of the moment, that there is a malice to the moment, if I could use the term. I think of the words of my teacher's teacher, Weshiba, the founder of Aikido, who referred to his art at some points as the art of peace. He said that the essence of the art of peace is threefold. It is, one, to cleanse your heart of maliciousness. Two, to get in tune with your environment. And three, to clear all obstacles and barriers from your path. Now, I don't know about you, but myself, when I considered this, in thinking about maliciousness, I thought, wow, malice towards others is a foundation. This is something we really have to, well, not be mean to people, right? Cleanse our heart of maliciousness towards others. I'm suggesting here, folks, that actually one of our fundamental malice that we carry is a malice towards the moment. Our grand illusion is that we reject this moment as being insufficient, unacceptable, and there will always be attendant body clues that's going to let you know this. You will, as we've talked about in previous episodes, become uptight. Chest will become constricted, breathing reduced. Jaw will get tight, stuff around the eyes. When you pay attention, you can find it. So is there a way to extinguish this? Well, I'm unsuccessful. However, I found some tools that are really useful. I view this dynamic of looking at root causes to our discomfort as an active dialogue between our consciousness and our body's system. Our body's going to let us know what's going on. It'll let us know if we're good or if we feel threatened. And at the root of all our manufactured anxiety and worry, we're going to find a fear and a rejection of something in the moment. It's not sufficient. And I say a dialogue because this is not a monologue. And I bring this up because there is, how shall I put it? There's trouble with the term mindfulness for me. Anybody that knows me for a while knows that I had a business for many years called Mindful Movement Training. I know what I was pointing at and searching for in calling my business that. But I've dropped that term now, and I'll tell you why. Because we are already highly cognitive, I would say imbalanced towards being hyper-rational and cognitive. And as a result, have obscured the very clear messages coming from our body, telling us when we're harboring malice towards the moment. Coming back to the work by Gavin de Becker, The Gift of Fear, there's a quote from that has rattled around inside my skull for decades now, since I read the book a long time ago. And he's addressing this particular phenomenon by saying we need to learn to pay relaxed attention to our environment rather than rapt attention to our imagination. I found this to be one of the more useful directions in this quest I've ever come across. Relaxed attention to the environment. And this is the clue. As we've said before, it is almost impossible to be focused, ready, attending to the moment, and carry this excess tension. It doesn't work. It's one of the reasons we love sports. You know, when you're waiting for the ball to come over the net in your tennis match, you're not thinking about your mortgage. You're not worried about your sales presentation tomorrow. You're completely focused on the ball coming over the net. You get a holiday from your neurosis for those brief moments. One of the reasons we love sports, that we love being involved in live music, why we love doing martial arts practice. All of these activities give us a respite from our habitual self-abuse, the neurosis, the worry. The question has to be asked, though, can we access this sense of the body and the mind being aligned and free from this agitation at all times? Well, I haven't found it. But I have found a method that deepens and extends one's ability to stay fully embodied in whatever task we undertake. The mundane, you know, the doing the dishes, the brushing the teeth, the taking the garbage out. And that's what we're going to focus on next time, folks. What I call the Olympics of life. How we can bring a sense of, shall we put it, athletic excellence into our daily activities. I hope you'll join me then. If you'd like to hear more about that, please do remember, click like, click subscribe. Really appreciate your support that way. All right, folks, until such time, stay sharp, be strong. All the best.